What up YouTube, this is Freshwater Aquatics, and this video is pretty much just going to be me aquascaping my tank. As you can see here, these are some of the slate I picked up from my local fish store. I explained that in the video before this, and I'm planning on putting it in the algaed 55 gallon. I am planning on taking some of this brown rock out, not all, but some. That's because I like the slate more, and we'll see if I have enough space, because I do have a ton of rocks. So I just cleaned those slate rocks, and I am planning on draining the water a little bit, moving everything around. I'm not planning on taking the fish out, just because it's a bigger tank compared to my 20 gallon, and I feel like they'd be okay if I just moved a bunch of rocks around. I'm not necessarily going to move the substrate, because I don't have stuff that will make the substrate stay in the hills that they are. Those little sheets of plastic you put in so the gravel doesn't slide. And if I make them hills, they'll just fall down eventually, or fish will push them down flat. Now this used to be hilly as heck. You can still see some, but now it's pretty much flat. So I'm not going to really mess with the gravel at all. The only thing that I'm going to mess with the gravel at is picking up the rocks, moving them, and plants. As I said, I am also going to drain the water. So I'm going to do that real quick now. It should take a long time for me because I have to fill up buckets and go dump them out and then repeat the process. But it should only take a few seconds for you. Okay, now that's done. I am planning on turning off that filter just so it's not as loud, and I want it to kind of settle so I can see what I'm doing in the tank and so the fish don't get blown around, because if you can see, the current is pretty wild in there. So I'm going to turn that off real quick and we'll get back to it. So now I'm going to start doing the hardscapes. I kind of have a plan what I'm going to do, but planning a tank, it usually doesn't work out, because when you're planning it, you don't have the correct dimensions of every single piece of rock. So I kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like, and I'm just going to change it to what looks best. So first I'm just going to get the plants and most of the rocks out right now, and then start from that. Alright, so I'm going to start real quick. I'm going to get the plants out first, and then I'll work on the rocks. I might not take all of them out, just maybe move them or put some in right now. Alright, so I got all the plants out, and I have to say, so far these plants are doing great. Especially the roots of some of these. I mean, that's long. But then, I have one that looks like this. I honestly do not know what this is, because I never purchased one that looks like this. I mean, it might be a variation of these kinds, but I honestly do not understand what this is. It might be that, but just thriving, but if any of you know, please tell me. Not that it really matters, because, I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. It's obviously thriving, because it's huge. But, and then I'm also kind of glad this wisteria took off. I mean, that's to be expected, but going very well. Alright, now I'm going to get to the hardscape, and we'll see how things go from that. Alright, so I've pulled out most of them, and I'm going to try to put the black slate in now, but I have to say, every time I pull up one of those brown rocks, I always feel like the pleco is hiding on it, and I kill it by putting it on the ground. So, it's just kind of nice to know that I see it somewhere else, because it's kind of scary for me. Alright, so I'm going to get going. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Shouldn't take long for you. Alright, got almost all of them right now, except a piece of wood and two of the largest pieces I have. Oh, and one more. Yeah, I'm going to leave those in there just right now and move them around the tank. Not necessarily taking them out, just moving them for now. As you can see, I pretty much have no space on this towel I have, so those are going to have to stay in there. So now I'm going to start adding the darker slate and start positioning everything. Honestly, it looks pretty cool with the contrasting colors. So I might actually leave all of the rock in, because, I mean, I'm probably not going to put them together, but it actually looks pretty okay with the contrasting colors. Alright, so this is what I have so far. I'm not liking it that much, but my Pleco is obviously liking it. I mean, he's going through the little slate through and through. Might change it up, but for now I'm going to stick to this and see how it looks. So far I think it looks pretty good, so I might not change it. The two clashing, that actually looks pretty cool. Though I have this kind of arched, it does look better in person, I have to say. It does not look very good on the camera, but I'm definitely going to move that little piece back there. But I kind of like something in the middle, that way fish can swim around it, feeling more like at ease, that there's something to hide in behind. So hopefully my fish like it. If they don't, I might change it, but then again, this is super stressful. So hopefully they'll like this. I'm going to add more. I still have a lot of rocks left. One little piece of lonely slate. Still got all my plants to plant. I might actually turn this part all sand, this little crevice there. Just because I've got fish that like to burrow, and they probably won't want to do it in the gravel, and there's not a ton of hiding spaces with this. I did build it out, not for that crevice, but there's a piece of wood back there, and I didn't really want to move it because there's these upside down catfish, little tiny babies, not big, not small enough where the leaf fish can eat them, but and then they like blend in with the gravel, so I didn't want to like pick them up and maybe squash them, so I'd leave that be. You can't really see it that well. Maybe when the tank clears up, if it does not look very good where it is, I might move it, but for now, pretty good. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Alright, so I think I'm gonna stick with this layout for now. The rest of the people in my family don't necessarily like the different colors, but I think it kind of looks cool, the two different colors clashing. My fish obviously like it. I mean, they're super, doesn't look like they're super stressed out, and they're already starting to swim. So I'm going to plant the plants in the various spots, and then I'm going to siphon a little bit more, probably around a little less than 50%. And then I'm gonna end the video and hope it does well. I'm definitely gonna feed the fish tonight, just so they know that this new home does supply food, so they don't start eating each other. Alright, so I'm gonna do that, plant the plants real quick, and then I'll just siphon. Here's another image of that mystery plant, and if you do know what it is, please tell me. I mean, not that it matters, because it's obviously thriving, but just as a learning point, I do kind of want to know what it is. Alright, good. Alright, so I think I'm finished. I put all the plants in, the rocks in. I did leave a few rocks out, but I don't think I'm going to use those. Up close, this side looks a little crowded, so I might move that. Try to go for like a rainforest and then desert theme or something, but that's obviously gonna move. But it does look a little crowded, so I might move these either all to the back or maybe spread them out through the whole tank. I don't know right now, but I don't think I'm fixed with those plants there. So I'm going to leave that there for now. And definitely going to siphon real quick. And alright, that's pretty much the end. Hope you liked it. Definitely comment with that if you know what that plant was. And just state your opinion. It's always good to hear that. Alright, to wrap it up here, I'm definitely going to siphon it, but that's a bit boring, and I'm not going to show you the end results because that's probably not going to be that much big. But I did add this sand here just to make it kind of look like a desert theme, and it's more of like a rainforest or more planted theme. The fish already seem to like it. I am going to clean the tank and then hopefully be done with this tank. That's pretty much it. Alright.